How does sync work? Sync is a cell or a specially connected cells which has the lowest elevation value among the surrounding cells. That flow direction can't be assigned in flow direction raster. We use sync spatial analysis tool to identify the sinks and fill spatial analysis tool to raise the elevation and remove non-legitimate sinks to have continuous flow path. We have two types of sinks: legitimate sinks, which are not filled, like catch basins, and non-legitimate sinks, which are filled and they are caused by artifacts or barriers, such as trees or swimming pools. How does flow direction work? Flow direction is calculated based on an 8-direction model. Water flows from one cell to a cell that has the lowest elevation value. For example, based on the direction coding, if water flows to the east side, system assigns number 1 to that cell. How does flow accumulation work? Flow accumulation is calculated based on the flow direction. The value of cells in the flow accumulation raster is the number of cells that flow into each cell. For example, if one cell has value of 20, it means 20 cells flow into that one cell. Raster layer needed. Out of 5 raster layers for our edit purpose, we use flow accumulation and sync rasters. We update the symbology. The red color was picked for sync raster, and for flow accumulation, we split into two classes: 0 to 250 with no color due to their low value. They are not taken into consideration, and 250 and above with blue color. Break lines. There are 3 types of break lines that are used for LiDAR editing: a berm, culvert trench, and deep trench. Break lines, based on their functionality, have their own way of certain setup. Berm is used to redirect flow. Culvert trench is used for bridging road to open up a sink that is caused by bridge. Deep trench is used to open up a sink in mountain areas that are caused by trees or big rocks. Applying berm. Here's an example of applying berms. When water hits a tree or a car, it gets redirected and crosses the street. We keep the flow along the street by applying berm. Applying deep trench. Here is an example of applying the deep trench. We open up the sink, which allows the water to flow. Applying culvert trench. Here is an example of applying culvert trench. We open up the sink, which allows the water to flow into the channel. Workflow plan. Here is our workflow process. We perform quality assurance, quality control checks to make sure all the processes meet their intended results. The first part of the workflow process starts with setting up a workspace, and it ends when edits are completed. This is one iteration. If additional work is needed, we will make necessary edits and rerun the process. We might need to repeat the process up to 7 times until we get to the final result. Next, we need to ensure we have the final results from part 1. We can then move to the second part of the workflow process, which is the final process of creating catchment polygon and streamlines. Catchment polygon. Here is our final product. As you can see in this slide, we have catchment, polygons, streamlines, and flow direction. Catchment polygons. Here is another example of catchment polygons and streamlines from mountain areas. Procedure overview. Here is an overview of the completed process. The image shows how we created catchment polygons, streamlines, and flow direction from LiDAR data.